Hello everyone, I am Priyanka Rajaram from Vidyashram PU College, Temple of Excellence. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, Surface Chemistry. So let's first look into the weightage of the chapter. We have 6 marks weightage allotted for this chapter. You can expect one 1-mark question and one 5-mark question from this particular chapter. This chapter is the most easiest and the scoring because it does not have any equations to be remembered. Also, it is not having any numericals like the other physical chemistry topics. Okay. So, what is surface chemistry? Surface chemistry deals with phenomenon that occurs at the surfaces or interfaces. Now, what do you mean by surface? Okay, if I take a solid, the outermost surface, okay, what is the nature of that surface and how is it interacting with the environment? The study about that itself is called as surface chemistry. So, it can be physical phenomenon what is happening on the surface, or it can be a chemical phenomenon which is happening on the surface, or interfaces also we have used in the definition. Now, what do you mean by interfaces? Now, if I have taken two immiscible liquids, immiscible means they do not mix with one another, like water and oil. What have I taken? Water and oil. Where water and oil are in contact with one another, that is the interface of two phases. Or I can also take an example of metal on which the gas can get adsorbed, or the interaction between the metal and the gas, okay, maybe hydrogen gas which we use for reduction. Okay. So, what is the interaction of the metal and the gas, that phase in which both are coming in contact with one another, that is called as an interface. So, in surface chemistry, we are going to learn about all the physical and the chemical phenomena that occurs on the surface or an interface of any substance. Okay. Now, in this, first we are going to learn what is adsorption. What is it? What is adsorption? A-D-S-O-R-P-T-I-O-N. Don't mistake for absorption. Okay. Adsorption is a process of accumulation of molecular species. We are learning about gases or liquids on the surface of a solid. Okay. The gases or the liquid particles are accumulating on the surface of a solid. That process is called as adsorption. Okay. Now, what is adsorbent? The substance on the surface of which adsorption takes place is adsorbent. So, the substance on which surface the adsorption process is happening, that is adsorbent. And the particles which are coming and getting attached on the surface, okay, or adsorbed on the surface, those particles are called as adsorbate. To understand better the adsorption process, you can see this. So, this is my adsorbent, and the particles, blue color particles which is coming and getting accumulated on the surface, that is the adsorbate. So, this is the adsorbent, and the particles which is coming and getting accumulated is called as the adsorbate. I hope you won't get confused. Adsorbent is the substance on which the adsorption takes place. Adsorbate are the particles which are coming and getting adsorbed on the surface. Okay. So, this is adsorption. Okay. Next, we will see what are the examples for adsorption. Here we have taken the solution containing methylene blue, that is 2 beakers containing methylene blue dye. For one of the beaker we have added activated charcoal. You can see that beaker in which the activated charcoal was added has turned colorless. Why? because of the process of adsorption. So, activated charcoal can adsorb dye, okay, the dye particles, the methylene blue dye particles. It can also adsorb many gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, chlorine. It can also adsorb water, etc. Also, in some of the leather articles like your bag or your wallet, or it can be shoes, you might have observed there are small packets of silica gel. What does this silica gel do? It adsorbs the moisture around it and makes the air dry. So, that is also an example. Air becomes dry in the presence of silica gel. So, these are some of the examples of adsorption. Okay. Next, we learn what is desorption. Desorption is process of removal of adsorbed substance from its surface. You can see here from the adsorbent surface, the adsorbate particles are getting removed. The process of removal is called as desorption. Okay. Next is absorption. You have learnt about absorption, or you might have seen it in several daily activities where absorption takes place. Now, what is absorption? It is physical or chemical process in which atom, molecules or ions enter into the bulk of the substance. That means it can enter into the substance. Then we call it as absorption. Okay. It is the chemical integration of one chemical into another. It is, for example, simple example like water is there and you keep a sponge on it. Sponge will absorb all the water into it. That is absorption. The water particles are entering into the sponge. Okay. That is absorption. Okay. Here you can see the distinction between absorption and adsorption. Adsorption, it is a surface phenomenon in where there is the accumulation of the particles on the surface, whereas in absorption it is entering into the bulk or it is going inside the substance. Then we call it as absorption. So, adsorption is what? It is happening on the surface, accumulation of the particles on the surface, whereas absorption, it is entering into the particle or the adsorbent or any substance. Okay. So, this differences between adsorption and absorption is a very important 2-mark question. Okay. You are supposed to write the differences for 2 marks. What is it? Absorption, again, it is a phenomenon in which substance is uniformly distributed throughout the bulk of the solid. That is the substance which is entering into the solid. Okay. Then it is a bulk phenomenon. You can see it is a bulk phenomenon. Also, the concentration is uniform throughout the substance. What has entered into it, it is uniform. For example, we can also take chlorine gas which is dissolved in water, or it is actually absorption. Water is absorbing the chlorine gas. You might have come across chlorinated water. You can get the smell of chlorine in that. Concentration of chlorine is uniform throughout the water. Okay. Whereas adsorption, if you see, it is accumulation of molecular species at the surface of the substance. Also, it is surface phenomenon. And the last one is the concentration of adsorbate increases only at the surface. The adsorbate is only on the surface. It is not into the bulk of the system. So, that is the difference between absorption and adsorption. It is again a very important question. Next, we shall see what is the thermodynamics behind adsorption, or why adsorption actually happens. To understand this better, I shall take an example. Okay. Now, I have considered a solid. I am considering two particles, one particle at the center and one particle at the surface. So, one particle at the center and one particle at the surface. Now, this particular particle, okay, has been attracted on all the sides equally, okay. It is experiencing a force of attraction on all the sides which is equal to one another, whereas the particles at the surface has a force of attraction only towards one side. On the surface, it does not experience any force of attraction. Correct? The residual force experienced by the surface particle is not uniform. It is only towards one side. Okay? Whereas the particle which is there in the bulk experiences the force of attraction uniformly throughout. So, because of this, to balance this surface residual force which is there, it will try to adsorb, or the adsorption process happens. When the adsorbate comes on the surface of the adsorbent, okay, when the adsorbate comes and gets adsorbed on the surface of the adsorbent, here the heat is liberated, okay. When the forces are getting balanced, the energy or the heat will get liberated. So, always adsorption is an exothermic process. What happens? Adsorption is an exothermic process. When the adsorbate comes and gets adsorbed on the surface, the heat will be liberated, okay. So, that is the first thing which you have to know. Adsorption of a gas or a liquid is always an exothermic process. For exothermic process, we put a negative sign. Delta H is negative, okay. Next, we are talking about entropy. What do you mean by entropy? Entropy means it is the randomness to a system. Now, gases and liquids, we know the particles are not very rigidly packed, they are free to flow. Now, the particles when they are free to flow, that means the entropy is high. But when the process of adsorption happens, or when it is getting attached on the surface, the randomness will decrease. Now, it can't move very freely. They have to get adsorbed on the surface. They have to be still at one place. So, what happens is the randomness decreases. That means the entropy also decreases. That's why S, that is entropy, delta S becomes negative. Now, for any spontaneous process, delta G should be negative. Correct? A spontaneous process is called spontaneous only when delta G is negative. So, if I put in this formula, delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. We know delta H is always negative because adsorption is a exothermic process, okay. Temperature, any room temperature I will take, and delta S also is negative. Now, what happens is minus into minus, this particular value, okay, you will get delta H, which is a negative value, and this will become positive T delta S. You will get a positive value. Minus into minus will become plus. So, if delta G has to come negative, the delta H, the negative value should be really very high. Correct? Delta H should be very high. It should be highly exothermic process. Okay. Also, as the process of adsorption takes place, delta H becomes less and less negative. What is it? Delta H becomes less and less negative, and slowly delta H and T delta S value becomes equal to one another, and then delta G will become 0, which is called as equilibrium state. So, I will repeat again. When the adsorbate comes on the surface of the adsorbent, when it gets adsorbed, because of the residual forces are getting quite balanced there, the heat there or the residual force whatever is there, it is getting liberated in terms of heat, okay, and that is why it is always a exothermic process. So, delta H is always negative for adsorption. The randomness of the adsorbate is decreasing, because of that delta S also becomes negative. For a spontaneous process, we have to get delta G negative, and we know adsorption is a spontaneous process. So, if I put those values in my formula, delta S is negative, delta H is also negative. So, here if you see minus and minus becomes plus, T delta S will become a positive value. So, delta H, the negative value of delta H should be really very high for a process to be spontaneous, adsorption process to be spontaneous. As this adsorption takes place or it goes on, the delta H value becomes less and less negative, and at one point of time enthalpy will be equal to Ts, temperature into entropy, and at that state delta G value will become 0, and that state is called as the equilibrium state. I hope you have understood about the thermodynamics of adsorption. Next, we learn factors affecting adsorption. Now, if adsorption has to take place, several factors come into picture. What is the type of the adsorbate which is coming on the adsorbent, or what is the adsorbate which is getting adsorbed, okay? What is the kind of surface which is getting adsorbed? What is the temperature? What is the pressure? How does it actually affect the adsorption, okay? We will learn. The first one is effect of adsorbate, that is, if easily liquefiable gases undergo adsorption to a greater extent. Easily liquefiable gas, for example, ammonia, HCl, carbon dioxide, etc. are adsorbed to a greater extent than those which are not liquefiable easily, like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, etc. Next is specific area of the adsorbent. For example, I have taken a metal piece, okay. The surface area available for adsorption is less compared to if I take the finely divided metal. Finely divided metal, one metal piece, only one particular surface you will get. Same metal, if you are taking in the finely divided form, you are dividing into small pieces, or okay, very small pieces, if you have divided that, then the surface available for adsorption will increase, okay. So, greater specific area of a solid, greater would be its adsorbing capacity. So, usually when we are using catalyst, we usually use these metals, especially metals, in the finely divided form, okay. Next, effect of temperature. Adsorption decreases with the increase in temperature. Why? When I am increasing the temperature, you are giving energy to the system, okay, and the particles will get more kinetic energy and it might start moving very fast, because of which adsorption will become a little difficult, okay. That is the reason adsorption will decrease when I increase the temperature. Next is effect of pressure. Increase in pressure causes an increase in adsorption. This is especially for the gases. When pressure I increase, the volume is reduced and the particle movement also is constricted, because of which adsorption, okay, on the surface it will easily happen. So, increase in pressure will increase the adsorption. So, these are the four factors which is affecting adsorption. First is nature of the adsorbate, area of the adsorbent, effect of temperature and effect of pressure. Next, we are going to learn about two types of adsorption, okay. Basically, it is based on interparticle force of attraction between the adsorbate and the adsorbent. Based on that, we have two types of adsorption, it is physical adsorption and chemical adsorption. Physical adsorption is also called as physisorption. Chemical adsorption is also called as chemisorption. Now, here I have given one diagram. Here you can see this is the adsorbent and the pink particles which are there, it is the adsorbate. Okay. So, in physisorption we have between the adsorbate and the adsorbent there is a weak physical or van der Waals force of attraction. It is a weak physical or van der Waals force of attraction. Okay. Whereas chemisorption or chemical adsorption, between the adsorbate and the adsorbent there is chemical bond formation. That's why it is called as chemisorption. What is it? It is bound by the chemical bond. Here what is the force of attraction which is there? It is weak physical or van der Waals force of attraction which is there between the adsorbate and the adsorbent. Okay. In physical adsorption, now I will talk detailed about physical adsorption. In physical adsorption, the particles which is adsorbed on the adsorbent, what happens is this particular process is reversible. It is not very specific that only one type of a gas can go and get adsorbed only on certain kind of a metal, for example. It is not highly specific. Okay. Here physical adsorption is not highly specific. It has got a weak van der Waals force of attraction and it is also reversible as well. It can also be reversed. That is, for example, I increase the temperature or I change the condition, I can remove these adsorbed particles from the adsorbent very easily. It can be reversed very easily. The process of adsorption or the desorption can happen very easily. Okay. Also, the amount of enthalpy which is required for the process to happen is very low. Enthalpy required for physical adsorption is very low. Also, if I increase the temperature, what is it? If I increase the temperature, physical adsorption decreases. If the temperature is increased, physical adsorption decreases. If the surface area increases, of course, physical adsorption also increases. Okay. So, these are some of the properties of physical adsorption. Now, coming to some of the properties of chemical adsorption. First is between the adsorbate and the adsorbent there is a chemical bond which is formed, and here once the bond is formed it becomes irreversible. It is irreversible and it is highly specific. Any adsorbate cannot come on any adsorbent just like that. It is very specific. Okay. It is highly specific in nature. It requires a little higher temperature. What happens with temperature is, at a little higher temperature the particles can get activated energy and then it can form the bond with the adsorbent. Okay. The adsorbate can form the bond with the adsorbent, but very high temperature is again not very suitable for chemical adsorption. Also, it requires activation energy. There is specific activation energy for the bond formation to happen, whereas for physical adsorption there is no activation energy which is involved. Okay. So, that is about chemical adsorption. Again, if the surface area increases, both physical as well as chemical adsorption increases with the increase in surface area. Now, let us look into the differences between physical and chemical adsorption. Now, coming to the exam point of view, this is a very important question for 3 marks. Okay. It is a very important question for 3 marks. Write the differences between physisorption and chemisorption, or physical adsorption and chemical adsorption. Okay. Minimum, it is better to learn 6 points out of 8 or 9 points which is there over here. So, we will do one by one. Physical adsorption I explained. It is, what is the cause of physical adsorption? It is van der Waals forces, whereas in chemical adsorption it is chemical bond formation happens between the adsorbate and the adsorbent. Here physical adsorption is not specific in nature, whereas chemical adsorption is highly specific in nature. Physical adsorption is reversible, chemisorption is irreversible. You cannot reverse once the bonds are formed. Fourth one, it depends on nature of the gas. Okay, more easily liquefiable gas, physical adsorption happens very easily. Here also it depends on the nature of the gas, but the gas should react with the adsorbent. Okay, the adsorbate gas should react with the adsorbent, only then the chemical adsorption can happen. Next, enthalpy for adsorption is low, that is only 20 to 40 kilojoule per mole is required, whereas enthalpy for adsorption is 80 to 240 kilojoules, that is more energy is required for chemical adsorption because there is bond formation. Next is low temperature favors adsorption. Higher temperature, what happens? I told you the particles will start moving randomly and adsorption becomes really difficult. So low temperature physical adsorption is favored. High temperature is favorable for chemical adsorption. No activation energy is needed, but here there is activation energy is needed. More detailed about what is activation energy you will learn in your chemical kinetics chapter. Okay, it is the extra amount of energy which a reactant should get to form the products. Okay, more detail you will learn in chemical kinetics. Next, it depends on surface area, that is same for both. It depends on surface area. Surface area increases, physical adsorption increases. Surface area increases, chemical adsorption also will increase. That is not a difference actually, both will increase. Last one is physical adsorption will form multimolecular layer. In the diagram I showed you, it will form multimolecular, one layer over the other, whereas here it will form only unimolecular layer because every bond has a particular length. There is a specific bond length which is there between any of the two atoms which is been bonded. So here only one layer it can form, 2, 3, 4 layers it is not possible. It is unimolecular layer. Okay, that is about physisorption and chemisorption. So this is a very important 3-mark question. So I hope you have understood about physical adsorption and chemical adsorption. What is adsorption, what is absorption, what is desorption in this class. Next class we will learn about adsorption isotherm, application of adsorption and catalysis. So thank you, stay focused, stay tuned.